My 38 male thought I had a decent setup. Wife of 12 years, a place in the suburbs. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. Things weren't always fireworks, but it felt normal. Until Tuesday. I was at work, buried in spreadsheets, when my phone buzzed. It was her. The text read, "I want a divorce. All communication through my lawyer." Seriously? A text? That was my first thought. My second was a cold, hard okay. I replied with a simple understood. No drama, no begging. Because in that moment, something shifted. The years of feeling a bit distant, the occasional snarky comment, it all clicked into place. She wanted to play it this way? Fine, let's do it. That evening, after work, I sat down at my laptop. I made a detailed list of all our assets, every account, every share bill. I'm pretty organized with finances, so thankfully it wasn't a huge mess. Then I made a couple of calls. Wednesday morning, I called the bank and the credit union. I explained the situation, pending divorce, her request for all communication through lawyers, and requested her access to the joint credit cards be suspended. Then I contacted HR at work and updated my direct deposit information so my paycheck went directly into my personal account. The shared account we use for household stuff? I put a hold on any withdrawals for now. Did I feel great about it? Not really. 12 years is a chunk of your life. But that text felt like a slap in the face. If she wanted to treat this like a legal proceeding from the jump, I'd respond in kind. I went through Wednesday like it was any other day. Work, a quick microwave dinner, some mindless TV. But inside, I was waiting. I knew her lawyer wouldn't be thrilled. Update 1. The lawyer's call, about 48 hours later. Thursday afternoon, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost let it go to voicemail, but something told me to answer. Mr., my last name? A formal voice on the other end. This is Ms. Davies, attorney for your wife. Wife's name? Yes, I said, keeping my tone neutral. The lawyer. My client has informed me of some actions you've taken regarding her credit access and finances. Suspending her credit cards and redirecting your salary, to be precise. Ms. Davies sounded like she was trying to be professional, but I could hear a hint of annoyance. That's correct, I replied calmly. Since all communication is to go through you, I assumed these matters would be addressed through this channel. There was a brief silence. I could almost picture her mentally rewording her next sentence. Mr., my last name, those are marital assets. While a divorce is pending, unilaterally restricting access. With all due respect, Ms. Davies, I interrupted, still calm. Your client initiated this process and dictated the terms of communication. I am simply responding within those parameters. If my wife has concerns about these actions, I trust she will communicate them to you, and you can then inform me. Another pause, a little longer this time. I believe it would be beneficial for all parties to schedule a meeting to discuss these matters promptly. Agreed, I said politely. My attorney is, my lawyer's name, at law firm. Please feel free to contact our office to arrange a mutually convenient time. I ended the call before she could say anything else. A small, grim smile touched my lips. The game was on. Later that evening, I saw a few missed calls from my wife's number. I didn't answer. The message was clear, lawyers only now. Update 2, reality bites, roughly 72 hours later. Friday morning, my phone rang. It was my lawyer. She's not happy, my lawyer said, a bit of amusement in her voice. Ms. Davies has been in touch. Apparently, your wife is experiencing some unexpected financial constraints. Turns out, all communication through my lawyer sounds a lot less appealing when you can't buy groceries. My wife, it seems, hadn't fully considered the immediate practicalities of her demand. Maybe she thought I'd keep the money flowing while we sorted things out legally. Nope. My lawyer explained that my wife was staying with a friend and was quickly realizing that friends aren't always keen on funding someone else's life. The sudden loss of financial independence after so long was hitting her hard. Ms. Davies had apparently requested some form of temporary financial support be reinstated, but my lawyer was standing firm. Your client set the terms, my lawyer had told her. Now we proceed accordingly. Honestly, I felt a sliver of something akin to satisfaction. Not gloating, but a quiet sense that actions have consequences. She wanted a clean, detached break? Well, this was part of that. My lawyer reiterated her advice. Keep documenting everything, avoid direct contact with my wife, and let the legal process unfold. That's exactly what I did. The weekend was surprisingly peaceful. I caught up on some DIY project around the house and enjoyed the quiet. Final update. Moving forward about a month later. It's been a little over a month since that text. The divorce is moving forward, and surprisingly, it's become a lot less dramatic. Once the financial realities sank in, my wife's tone, through her lawyer, became much more reasonable. Funny how that works. We've reached a settlement. It's fair, maybe even a touch more than fair on my end, but I just wanted closure. The house is mine. The accounts are split. Her access to the credit cards remains canceled. She's moved into her own apartment and, from what my lawyer tells me, is navigating her new solo life. It hasn't been easy for her, and a tiny part of me feels a little bad. But then I remember that text, and the feeling fades. I've been focusing on myself, hanging out with friends more, getting back into playing the guitar, and even thinking about dipping my toes back into the dating pool, slowly, very slowly. This whole thing was a harsh lesson. It showed me that sometimes the most effective response isn't yelling or pleading, but a calm, strategic approach. She wanted a divorce on her terms? She got it. She wanted to communicate through lawyers? That's what's happening. And ultimately, I'm finding my way forward. So, Reddit, that's the update. Justice served? Maybe not in a movie-worthy explosion, but in a quiet, personal way. I think so. Sometimes the best thing you can do is pick yourself up and build something better. And that's what I'm doing. Cheers.